Books, 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 books. Who doesn't love books? Problem is, in order to grow, you gotta let go. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to Krystal TV, where today we are talking about decluttering books and some alternative options. So as we've talked about a lot on this channel, books are very heavy wood energy. They're dead wood energy, and as much as the knowledge can lift you up, the energy weighs you down. One of the problems that book lovers like you and I have is accumulating too many books. At some point, you have to let go of some old books to make room for all the new books. And that can be hard, which we've talked about in some other videos. And if you need help with decluttering, please download my free PDF guide for the 5 steps to declutter at declutteryourmindset.com to help you with getting through the stack. But what do you do with the books when you've decluttered them? Personally, I like to take them to the library if I'm donating them. In the past, I've also quite frequently taken them to a secondhand bookstore to resell them. Or I've given them away to friends and family members and kind of paid it forward in a way, especially if it was a book that I got a lot out of and I feel like they would get a lot out of as well. And I like to just pay it forward and pass it along, keep that energy moving. But how do you avoid getting there in the first place? Well, not only do I like to donate books to the library, but I like to borrow books from the library too. That way I can enjoy a book and then give it back and not having it there to clutter up my very precious space on my bookshelf, which I generally reserve only for books that I want to read multiple times until I really can incorporate it into my being. But once that's done, it's time to move them on. One of the best things I did for decluttering books, which worked for me really well, when I first moved to Hawaii, as well as when we were traveling on the road and living nomad life, having an ebook or an e-reader. I have a Kindle, and so being able to just download ebooks is helpful and also very dangerous. Let's be honest. Because it's really easy to just go buy another book at 3 o'clock in the morning when you've just finished one book and now you are revved up and ready to read another one. Whereas when you gotta go to the store to get one, that's a little harder to do. But once you can rein that in and get control of your book buying, a Kindle really goes a long way towards keeping that paper clutter to a minimum. Now, you do want to be wary of electronic clutter also, and maybe deleting some of those files as you outgrow them, but it does keep the wood energy in your home to a minimum. The only thing I didn't like about the Kindle so much is I do miss the actual paper in my hands when reading a book, but I still have something in my hands to read and hold on to. It's just not quite the same. There's little delays in finding the right page or scrolling back and forth that can be somewhat annoying, but it kind of evens itself out with the exchange of energy and making room on your bookshelf. Especially if you live in a small space or do a lot of traveling and want to be able to take some books with you on the go. Of course, audiobooks is another option that may work well for you if you are driving a lot, or maybe not. You love the story but don't like to read. Not everyone likes to read as much as I do, but you still like that intake of information. Audiobooks may be the way to go for you. That will definitely keep down on the paper clutter in your space. But again, that's something to be wary of, is the electronic clutter that is way easier to stack when it's just a file. So it's a good idea, whether your books are physical books, electronic books, or audiobooks, to go through them periodically and regularly, to let go of the old. That completion energy of finishing your homework, per se. You've finished the book, you've taken it in, it's part of who you are, and the last step of that is letting it go. And so it's a good idea to make sure that you're going through them, especially if your files are electronic and a little easier to forget about when it's out of sight, out of mind. Like a good book, be sure to share this video with a friend and leave a comment down below letting me know how you deal with your books and what's your alternatives to an overcrowded bookshelf. While you're down there, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.